What is good, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? It's your boy Foxy. Welcome back to the Fox's Den. Getting into another reaction. My Hero Time, baby. Episode 17 of Season 6. Very excited to get into this. Last episode, if I remember correctly, what we were doing. Oh yeah, we got a little bit of a recap and kind of just an overlook of what's going on of the after the huge battle and everything that's just transpired in the span of pretty much 3 days. Or 2 days, really, because the battle and the attack on Tartarus happened in the same day. Battle during the day, the attack on Tartarus during the night, and then 2 days after that is when we catched up with the heroes and whatnot. So it's only been a span of 3 days, and pretty much everything in Hero Society and just in terms of the whatnot in the country of Japan is just kind of chaotic right now. I mean, as we're seeing, police had got their hands full with the criminals and the villains that escaped from the prisons, because All For One literally broke himself out and then in turn broke a lot of other prisoners out, which then they attacked 6 other prisons and got a lot more criminals and villains out. So the police have their hands full with that. That makes them short-staffed in certain areas of the country where a lot of people and citizens are starting to have their doubts, and their distrust is growing through the heroes and law enforcement. So a lot of these regular citizens that have quirks, but maybe they didn't, become a hero in their line of work, or, their quirk wasn't really suited for that, or whatever the case may be, they're taking it upon themselves to defend themselves and take action, since, no one else is there to really protect them and do it for them like it usually was. Usually there was always a hero patrolling around. There was always somebody there to take care of something if something did occur. But right now, all the heroes are down. They're recuperating. It was the perfect time to attack Tartarus. There's multiple criminals and villains out, and it's just very, very chaotic. I mean, everybody has a lot of distrust right now with the heroes. A lot of the pressure and most of the worries that they have are being put on Endeavor solely, and that's it. And he's really having to face his guilt right now after waking up from surgery. We got a little bit more of a backstory with Hawks last episode too. We saw kind of like his upbringing was like pretty shitty with his parents. His mom, didn't really have like a will to work or make money or, just live in society. His father murdered somebody and was actually caught by Endeavor, and that was pretty much how he actually felt, the actual real sensation of a hero for the first time. And that's pretty much why he looks up to Endeavor, because he always saw heroes as like a fictional thing on TV that he rarely saw, and it never really affected his life personally until that moment where Endeavor was the one that caught his father. And then he gets picked up by the Hero Commission, and that's where they start they took care of his mom and everything, as long as he trained under them, and they built him up to be this great hero. And we saw kind of like him investigating where his mom stayed, and obviously she fled since she got interrogated by Dobby and whoever else. That's how Dobby figured out Hawks' real name. And he was with Best Genius the whole time while they were doing this, trying to kind of investigating and sifting through the debris and just the aftermath, going through the country and seeing everybody's distrust and figuring things out for a little bit, even though the heroes are down for a count right now. You know what I'm saying? And then, yeah, towards the very end of the episode, we really see Endeavor's guilt that he's facing from what he caused the trauma in his family, not just TOYA, even though that's like the main warrior right now, because he knows that he's alive now, and TOYA went on his speech about how much of a shitty father he is, and the reason why he is the way he is today, a villain, and why he's killed innocent people and whatnot. And it's just a crazy situation all around, and it looks like the family's actually coming in to talk to Endeavor and really face this head on and actually have a conversation about it. And the mom is leading the charge, which is amazing, because she had so much trauma that she went through that she was put in the hospital by Endeavor. He never really showed her any attention or accountability at first, whenever, at least with her. He started this journey of atoning for his sins pretty late. It's too late, that's why he's facing this guilt now. But he at least started to try, at least with Shoto and his other kids. I can't remember Shoto's older brother that's younger than TOYA. I think Nato, or I don't know, something like that. And then his sister, he started trying with them, and he was trying at least very slightly with his wife, the mother of his kids, by sending her favorite flower every so often. I remember we learned about that last season. So she mentioned it at some point while she was in the hospital, that he had been sending flowers, which is her favorite. And so he was at least, you know, he's at least been trying a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And he's trying his best. But like I said, it was too late. So now it's time to actually talk about this and face it head on. And, you know, he's at like the lowest point of his career right now, where he feels like his hero name is dead. The number one hero doesn't exist. Like, he failed everybody. Like, the amount of guilt and despair that he's in right now is unparalleled. So I'm really interested to see what this conversation is going to be like between the family, and see what they can figure out. And I'm assuming we're going to get a little bit of some flashbacks and stuff, maybe some stuff that happened earlier on in their lives. And obviously they're going to talk about TOYA too. So I'm very excited to witness this conversation and see how this episode goes. So without further ado, let's get into it. If you guys enjoy it, please leave a like down below, comment, and subscribe if you're new. There's plenty more on the way. Let's get it. The wrong way to put out a fire. Okay. Oh, this is when they first met. Yeah, it was an arranged marriage. This is how deep his drive for power went. I mean, goddamn, this shit consumed him. Look how young he looks here. That's that favorite flower I was talking about. She said, of course I'm not. Wow. That takes some fucking power right there and strength to be, dude, she's holding accountability herself as well. Not only, like, you know, she's making sure that Endeavor's not the only one taking responsibility for this. Like, she's not the only one that overlooked TOYA's situation. That's wild. I'm already loving this. Bro, this dude, TOYA, is crazy, bro. He's smiling thinking about all this. See how he doesn't call him father? He doesn't call him father or dad or nothing, which is the same thing as Todoroki, where Todoroki's like, he's the same as me. I had nothing but resentment and hate in my heart. Is weaker. Damn, it was told by the doctors. They were told to not let him use his quirk. But he's blinded by the fact that he said his flame is more powerful. He doesn't have the resistance though. And that sucks for him because he's watching All Might. Yeah, he probably wanted to be a hero as well. See? His Endeavor's ambition was already put down onto this kid. He wants to train already and do it. He's still blinded by the ambition. Keeps on seeing more and more burns on him, but he's not really worried about his safety. He's more worried about he's not going to be able to surpass All Might. Like, dude. Is that when Todoroki was born? And TOYA has been witnessing this whole thing the whole time since he was the firstborn. Seeing him have more kids, and then he finally got the kid that he wanted. Is this what made him push himself this far? To keep on training? Dude, it made this kid go crazy, man. Wow. Oh my god, it's so sad, bro. He just wants his dad to be proud of him. Oh my goodness. Bro, he wanted to take out Todoroki because he knew that was his prized possession. That kid, bro, he stopped acknowledging him as his son, bro. Oh my god. She's right. You kept on running away from the accountability of what drove that kid. Wow, that was him in that scene? Bro, we've seen the scene from the beginning of the show, like season 2, when we first started learning about Todoroki's past. That's actually wild. Yeah.
世界はたくさんあって選択肢は無数にあるの。お父さんだけじゃない。もっと外を見て。母さんが何を知ってんだよ。啓発本でも読んだのかよ。だから俺が生まれたんだ。母さんも加担してんだよ。
Oh my goodness, bro. This kid was fed up with the bullshit.
早生まれの小さな体に。
こいぞ俺。これならお父さんもきっとびっくりするぞ。あ、でもくっそ。高ぶるとなんだって涙が出ちゃうんだろう。
He gets so excited to think that this might actually change something and his dad would be proud of him, but it's not. Bro, this is all he wants, bro. This is how badly he wants his father to recognize him. He just kept pushing him away. Oh my god, and then he beats her, bro. Oh my god. And this is what... Look at how traumatic this was for the whole family. That's actually insane. Leaves it completely up to her and runs away from the responsibility. Exactly what she said. That's what made her mental really start to decline, and that's why Shoto has that burn mark. Yeah, dude, imagine that. As a mother, your oldest son runs away. Damn, he's looking back on this moment as the same time that they're talking about at the hospital. He just kept going. He was like, I made it this far and one of my kids died because of it. There's no way I can stop now. Oh my god, bro. Todoroki, Shoto. Bro, that is so beautiful. Damn. Dude, don't make me fucking cry, bro. Jesus. This fucking family's breaking me down, dude. Jesus. Oh, look who's here. Illegal denim.
本人に直接聞くとしましょう。
諦めて見限った。
ショート君、君はかっこいいな。
Yeah, the fact that he had all the reasons to hate his mom, hate his dad, and forget about his family entirely. He really is trying hard to do his own thing while also making that family somewhat work nowadays. A lot of the heroes are starting to run away. They're like, nah, fuck this. This is too crazy for me. Like that one dude that was in front of Uraraka, he was like, time to find another job, dude. This is wild. Oh, his wings.
俺は支えたいんだ。
てなわけで、こっからはトップ3のチームアップです。
私は元よりホークスに命をベットした身。地獄の花見。
So I'm talking about, baby. Close allies, good friends, being there for each other in the moments of the worst despair ever. It's crazy how much they're actually coming to help him and be there for him and actually acknowledge this, have this conversation, because he really doesn't deserve any of it at all. But it's exactly what he needed to be able to stand back up. That's what we fucking need in the Hero Society right now, bro. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. They're starting to get wind of the mighty One for All. Oh, fuck. Oh, yep, Endeavor's trained with him. He remembers the conversation with Deku. Oh, fuck. Does Ida's voice actor sound different to y'all? Damn, that motherfucker's voice actor sounds mad different. Actually calls him by his name. They're getting mighty close to the answer, I'll tell you that much. That seems like they're about to have an even more interesting conversation. Oh shit. That's why he hasn't awakened yet. He's having an important ass convo with the previous wielders. Nah! And it ends right there. The episode ends, bro. Come on, dude. I was enjoying that, man. Fuck. Alrighty, guys. What an amazing episode of My Hero. That was really, really good. Getting into the flashbacks of the Todoroki family and kind of everything that spiraled together and making this family dynamic a terrible, terrible environment. Mainly because of Endeavor and his obsession with power. Right from the beginning. I mean, it was literally right from the beginning because he went out of his way to have an arranged marriage, a quirk marriage, found the family that had a daughter with an ice quirk. They got married. They start having kids. The first kid's Toya. What do you know? The first kid's born with an even stronger flame quirk. But he has his mother's frail kind of icy, like physical appearance. So he's even more, he doesn't have the resistance to be able to handle that type of flame. That's why he has all the burns on him today, the scars and everything. Like it's all burned up skin that's barely hanging on because he doesn't have the resistance. And so even though he had that, the doctors told the parents to advise the kid to not use his quirk. But Endeavor was already putting his ambition on a Toya where he was already hungry for like what his father wanted from him. So he wanted his father to be proud of him. He wanted his father to recognize him, which he was really, really passionate about from when he started quirk training early at a young age with his dad. And then all of a sudden he has to stop and his dad doesn't want him to because he's burning himself. He's like, nah, fuck that. Like, I know my body better than anybody. I can handle this. Like, let me like keep doing this. Like, I want to be a hero. I'm already following your ambition. Like, why are you backtracking now? And so that starts to really get under his skin. And he that's pretty much how he lives his life under the Todoroki family the whole time, is he keeps on trying to get his father's recognition. He just wants his father to look at him and be proud of him for what he's capable of. But his father's too obsessed with a perfect kid, where he has another kid. It seems Toya and Fuyumi are the closest in age, and then I think his name's Nato. I think the like middle brother. He would go to him as they were teenagers to talk a lot about of his frustrations, but then he was talking about him too much and coming to him way too much about the same old stuff, because it keeps on eating Toya up. But Nato, he's been used to it. He was born basically and ignored right away, is what I can assume, because it doesn't seem like his quirk is very useful. Maybe he just had a straight up ice quirk. I don't know what his quirk is, but obviously it was not what Endeavor was looking for. Endeavor has been looking for Shoto the whole time. So when Shoto's finally born, this is what's crazy about it too, is Toya's the firstborn. So he's experiencing everything from the beginning. His father's obsession, learning about his mother and father's marriage and how it was a quirk marriage. It was arranged. It wasn't like they loved each other. Or, I mean, maybe eventually, but not initially. Definitely not. I mean, it was arranged. It was arranged for the sole fact of getting what Endeavor wanted, which was Shoto, and that was the fourth kid. So he sees, Shoto finally born, and they're all happy, and he's and then that devastates him, because it's oh my god, and my father finally has what he wants, and he's gonna pay even less attention to me now. And it pretty much goes like that, because he keeps on trying to train, get his father's attention, and then every time he goes to talk to him, his father notices more burns, and then he gets more and more pissed, and he fucking tries and tells him to stop, and then he starts blaming the mother for it, running away from the responsibility, basically, because he doesn't show his kid any attention on how to stop using his quirk or to use it in a decent way. He was just running away from the responsibility, taking it out on the mother, so much so where he started beating her. That ruins the whole family dynamic, because all of the kids are realizing what's happening in the house. They're hearing. That is probably one of the worst dynamics you can have in a household for any young kid, and in this matter, a couple young kids. Parents yelling, cussing each other out. It's just the worst thing a kid can be put through. Okay, obviously they could, Endeavor could have beat them or something. That would have been even worse. Obviously there's always something that could be worse, but that scenario, just the vibe of that, bro, nah, that shit sucks. And I can relate to that in some way, because obviously I'm older now and I've been through all my shit, but my parents were divorced when I was younger, probably around when I was 9-10 years old, and the whole scheme of things are around it, and the rest of the family, it was just kind of it was kind of shitty, you know what I'm saying? And there was some yelling and arguing, and it never got super super bad, but the pale comparison of what I can relate to with this situation, I can kind of see, I can kind of just relate and see how shitty that fucking is. You don't want to be around shit like that. It's just not a happy environment. And then that kid has to also focus on what they're trying to do in their everyday lives, go to school, do this, do that, hang out with friends. But then they have to come home to that bullshit, and the parents aren't even paying attention to them at that point. They're just getting them mixed up in the situation. So it's all thanks to Endeavor. I mean, it was all thanks to him because of his obsession, and then also him, putting that obsession onto Toya and then trying to stop it and not take responsibility for it. Excuse me? And then taking it out on the mother, which then pisses the rest of the kids off, makes them scared as fuck from the family situation. And then also mainly Todoroki, because he was the baby at the time, so he was spending his most time with his mom, because he was the only one that could really, I guess, get some happiness with his mother, because he wasn't allowed to hang out with the other kids, really, his siblings, because he was too busy being trained by Endeavor. Oh, you're the perfect child, you're gonna surpass All Might, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, you know what I'm saying? Really really strict environment, because he was the prized child, right? So he only had his happiness with his mother. And then once he saw Endeavor, the way he was yelling at her and looking at her and hit her, nah, that's what pissed Todoroki off the most. That's what built his hate for his father, as well as just the training and whatnot. And then eventually that starts to dwell on the mother's mental, and that's what makes her go into her depressive state, because Toya realizes all the bullshit, how the marriage is fake. Did you get that out of a fucking self-help book? What are you saying to me? Shut your ass up. Leaves the house. He sees through he was fed up with everything. So it's cool to see that Rei, whenever she came in to talk to Endeavor, and the family as a whole talked to Endeavor, it was cool to see how they took accountability on their own actions as well, even though Endeavor is like the main culprit. That was really cool to see because, you know, she took her own accountability of, you know, not paying attention to him enough or, trying her best. But really what needed to happen, as she said herself, is like, I can't do it alone. I need you to do something as well. Stop running away from responsibility and leaving it all on me. Like, we need to both work together. That's the only way it's going to work. So I really love that episode. That was really, really fucking good. And seeing TOYA's background and like what led up to him like losing control of his flames and burning down like that forest where Endeavor always trained. And then him kind of feeling the guilt of that, but since he felt like he was too far in on his ambition and his goal on having this perfect child, he couldn't give up. So he just immediately passed it on to Shoto, and that created even more distrust and hate, resentment in the family dynamic within Shoto. And you know, it was really cool for his mom to say like, you know, this kid has every reason to hate me because she's the one that gave him that scar mark, you know, that burnt him with a teapot, because she got so tired of the way they were looking at her, starting with Endeavor, and then TOYA was tired of her shit, and then Shoto started getting really scared of her too because of just like how like she was suffering so much from the way that Endeavor was treating her. It was like she thought like every kid was Endeavor, and like she couldn't, like, that's how bad her mental was and how like depressed she was getting. And then it was piled on top of that even more when she was sent to the hospital, learns that her oldest child is dead. And yeah, bro, like what? That is just trauma on top of fucking trauma, bro. That is crazy. So it was really cool to see for her to like take accountability on, you know, not only her, but the rest of the siblings, and like kind of help out Endeavor to get him back up on his feet and like understand like what has happened in their life and really dissect it all. And, you know, that's why I really like how she said, like, this kid has every right to hate me because I burned him. You know, we put him through so much as a family and entirely, like, not even just me from just that burn, but like all of us. And really that burn is an indirect situation of Endeavor, you know, fucking abusing, verbally abusing and somewhat physically abusing his mom and also Shoto through the training. So it's kind of an indirect, like, way of, like, Endeavor pretty much caused that burn, even though Ray was the one that physically did it. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that Shoto actually found peace within his classmates and mainly Midoriya through that fight in season 2, where he learned that he is his own person. He has this quirk that he has is his own, and he doesn't have to hate and resent his father. He can just ignore him and basically kind of let everything go, which is one thing that she mentioned, since she was surprised that she has, you know, he has every right to hate me, but he doesn't. The reason why she's surprised by that is because of everything that he's been through, and yet meeting Midoriya and going to school and having his classmates and, like, you know, becoming a decent person, he's learned that he wants to be a hero. He wants to help people. That also includes his family. Like, he didn't really run away from all of that. Like, he realized, you know, Endeavor has been making somewhat, you know, attempts to atone for his sins, and at least having conversations with his siblings. And then he started, like, after I think it was during season 2 or like after that fight, pretty much right away, that's like when he started visiting his mom again, because he hadn't seen his mom in like probably years before that. So like he started making steps on his own to become his better self and, you know, still be there for his mom and whatnot, which is really respectable. You know what I'm saying? That's like, I think that's what I kind of relate to the most in terms of like a dysfunctional family, or any kids that like kind of go through a divorce and it gets like a little messy, or like not even because they're not divorced, but like any sort of like disconnect between the parents in a family. I think that's why I relate to Shoto so much, is because it really shows like how much he went through was really traumatic and really like he doesn't deserve it, and it's really annoying that he had to go through that. But the fact that he got to the other side, like saw the light at the end of the tunnel through Midoriya having that fight, and was able to come out of it thinking like, I don't want to be this type of person that just has hate inside of him. I want to be somebody that helps other people, and then like I also want to try and, you know, make my family, even if it's just like a little like amicable, that's fine by me. Like I want to try and like do whatever I can to make this work. which is really cool because I think most kids that like go through some dysfunctional shit like that, like they kind of yearn for that. I mean, at least I did. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like, damn, it felt like at one point my parents did not fuck with each other at all. Nowadays, we all get along just fine, even though they are separated and divorced. It doesn't matter. Like, we just had Thanksgiving together. Like, we all get together just fine. It's kind of like all the outside drama and, like, bullshit that mixes in with the main thing, and it just fucks everything up. But now that we're all older now, I mean, it all worked out. And I think that's, like, one of the things that most kids yearn for is, like, being able to still have parents that are able to just amicably hang out or whatever the case may be, or at least get along where they're not fucking arguing all the time, this and that. So I think that's the big relationship between like Shoto and like any person that kind of relates to his sort of dynamic and his family, even though his situation and their situation as a family altogether is way more of an extreme. Like most kids, like mine was, my shit was nowhere near something like that. But definitely in some similarities you can relate and just be like, wow, like this kid is really trying his best to fucking have a decent life and put all the hate behind him and enjoy his family's company for what it's worth, you know? And they were all there to help Endeavor stand back up on his feet and realize that you're not the only one, you know, that's going to try and make this right. And the same thing, that's when Best Genius and Hawks come in. And they start trying to figure things out like, hey, we got some ideas on what you need to say in response to these accusations. And, you know, it's time to start, you know, getting prepared for this. Like, we're here for you. Like, it's time for number 1, 2, and 3 to team up. So the top 3 are about to team up, make like a little, you know, hero super group. And Hawks is already diving into information and shit. Like, now it looks like we're about to get into a conversation with One for All. Because Midoriya is the main case right now where he's the only one that hasn't waken up. And it seems that, you know, All Might is aware that the reason why he hasn't woken up is because he can tell that he's like having a conversation with the past wielders or something along the lines of that within One for All. And at the same time, Hawks and Best Genius are like trying to come and talk to Midoriya, even though he's not awake yet. But it seems like to me they're gonna talk to All Might regardless, because they're like, oh, All Might's in there, okay, bet we can talk to him, because they're starting to put 2 and 2 together. Like they're even outside people, like there was some reporter that was like, Endeavor said something about this, what's that, and he said One for All. So if even outside people are starting to notice, like, what the fuck, like they're starting to just like catch on these key words, especially One for All, that's fucking wild. We get into a point where like it doesn't look like this shit's gonna be much of a secret anymore, if they keep on diving into this and actually learn about what they're I guess they're tracking down on. Because that was surprising. Hawks literally just came out right away and he was like, What's One for All? And then Endeavor starts putting 2 together. He's like, Deku? Because obviously Deku trained under Endeavor, so they know a lot about each other by training together for a while. And then also in just like the previous battle, how Deku was going the fuck off, holding it down. And he's the first one that like interrupted the main comm lines in the first place. Like, hey, I'm pretty sure Shigaraki's after me. And it starts to beg the question, like, why would he be after you? He's got One for All, motherfucker. You know, I mean, so it looks like people are starting to catch on. I guess we'll see what that conversation is like next episode between Hawks, Best Genius, and All Might, and also between the past wielders and Deku. I'm assuming that's what next episode's all about. So, yeah. That was an amazing episode. Very fat discussion, just because of all the drama dynamics between the Todoroki family and the information that Hawks and the rest of them are pretty close to getting with One for All. So, amazing episode. Really enjoyed that. That's going to do it for me, though. I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. If y'all did, please leave a like down below. Comment and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you know when the videos are coming. I mean, it's every day throughout the week, Monday through Friday. But regardless, if there's a certain show you're looking out for, you'll get that notification, baby. That's going to do it for me. We'll get into something else tomorrow. I think, oh yeah, Blue Lock is tomorrow. I'll be on the lookout for that. And I'll see y'all there. Y'all have a good one. Deuces.